Hi, and welcome to another Mewdeko tutorial. In this video, I'll be discussing how to in this video, I'll be discussing how to set up the permissions module in Mewdeko. So, you just invited Mewdeko and you want to set some rules on who can use the bot and where. Before we do that, there are a few basic things to know about the permission system. There are two permission systems. One can change the actual permissions to run a command, such as the say command requiring manage messages, and one that can set whether a user role can use it in a channel or a category, or at all, really. For the second permission system, the permissions stack. So if you set one permission, then add another, the one you just added takes priority. Well, that out of the way, let's begin. First, let's get the simple permission system out of the way. And this is how it works. So, officially, the command is called Discord Permission Override. Now, to spare you the countless typing hours, I have made it so that I have made so that in this tutorial I'll only use a short form of the commands, which are like 3 or 4 letters. So, for example, we have the say command. So, if we do .dpo .dpo say band members, you now see that any person who runs the say command will require the band member's permission. Now, if we check the help menu for say, you will see that the original permission is crossed out, but the band member's permission is now here. So, if you want to put another thing, if you want to put more than one permission to be required to run a command, you can do, for example, .dpo say manage messages and band members. There we go. And as you can see, that requires band members and manage messages. Now, if you want to clear the permission overrides that you have for the, for example, the say command, you just do .dpo say, and it puts everything back. Now, for the purposes of this next demonstration, I'm going to put it back a bit. The DPO say manage messages, perfect. If you want to list the commands that have actual overrides for permissions, you can do .dpol. This lists every command that has permission overrides. Now, for example, if you want to remove every single permission override, you can do .dpor. It'll ask you to make sure that way you don't accidentally type out the command for some reason. And then you click yes. It resets everything. And as you can see, nothing. Oh, and one more thing. These commands, or rather DPO, also applies this to the slash command counterparts. For example, you have the AFK disable command, the say command. The slash command versions of those commands also get these permissions that you just applied to them as well. That's neat, eh? Now, with the simple stuff out of the way, let's get to the slightly more, actually very much more complicated system here. The main permission system goes as follows. No, wait, not goes as follows. That sounds weird. So let's review the commands it has. So first up, we have ACAMD. Ah. It appears that I have. Ah, I see. Okay. One moment. Sorry, just trying to find the actual command because I managed to mess this up. and I'm not doing another take. I've done 20 already. One moment. Here it is. Okay. So this command allows you to disable or enable a module such as utility, administration, uh, server management. It allows you to disable that module for a category. So we can do, let's see, the text channels category. We can do AC, AMDS, utility category, and disable. Oh, wait. This is all modules. Oops. We do this. I'm not doing another take. Screw this. And disables all modules inside this text channel. Now, let me just... there we go. Now, this next one lets you disable all modules for a channel. So, .hacm. So let's see, .acm disable hashtag perms. So as you see, I cannot run anything at all. So let's go ahead and clear that. Now the next three do basically the same, but ARM is for disabling all modules for a role. ASM is disabling all modules for the entire server, and AUM is disabling all modules for a user. Now, CAC allows you to disable a command for a category. Oh, I never even did the reset perms properly. Oops. There we go. Lets you set a command to be able or not be able to be run at a category level. So let's see. Let's do CAC, say, disable. Boom. Now I can't use say. Now the same thing goes for this one, and this one. To be honest, most of them are self-explanatory as long as you're able to do .h whatever. So let me just list off the remaining ones without doing a demonstration. So let's see, we've gone over, okay. So we have CM, which we just went over. We have LP, which lists the currently set perms. We have MP, as in Mary, which lets you move a permission above or below an existing permission. I believe it also lets you swap permissions. Perm role, which lets you set a role that allows anyone in that role to be able to set permissions without needing admin, because yes, the permissions module does require admin for obvious reasons. RP, or reset perm, no, not reset perms, remove perm, allows you to remove a perm using its number. So let me do, for example, .sc say disable. We have .lp here. We do .r, oh, .rp2. It removes that, and then that permission gets invalidated. Next, we have reset perms. This command works always, regardless of the perms you have set, in case you manage to fuck something up massively. RC, you can enable or disable command for a role. RM, you can enable or disable a module for a role. SC, you can enable or disable command for the entire server. SM enables and disables a module for the entire server. UC enables or disables a user to use a certain command. UM enables or disables a user to use a certain module. And V toggles whether you see this little... toggles whether you can see this little permission warning here. Usually people find that annoying, so most of the time it's usually disabled. Now, some things to know, like I said, reset perms can be used to reset all perms in case you massively fuck something up. Another thing that I've been seeing users try to do is try to use the command to grant a user access to a command despite not having permissions. So that's not how this permission system works directly. What you're going to have to do is you are going to have to disable the command for the entire server. Then you're going to have to use DPO, the command from the first permission system we discussed earlier, to set its permissions to send messages. Then you can use .uc or .rc to enable the mentioned command for the user or role. Then they'll be able to use it without having the perms. Now, let's have a few demonstrations. So, let's do, for example, you have a channel with NSFW, but you don't want people to use the actual NSFW module on Mewdeko. So what you can do is SM NSFW disable. There we go. Now nobody can use a NSFW module. Or, for example, if you have a user that is spamming a command, despite telling him many times not to stop, you can do UC disable, for example, UC say disable, and then if you don't want to mention the user or you can't mention them, you can just use the ID. The same thing works for any role-based command or any user command. Now, I know this entire last minute or 2 minutes ago or so, has probably been a little bit of a headache for you because I'm terrible at explaining stuff. So, for the... so, my co-dev, Cottage Doing Cat, made this awesome new system that gives you like a little bit of a better interface for managing permissions in a way that you don't raise your daily character counter to 3,000 for no reason. So if we look at, for example, yes, I'm still using say. If you do .h say, you will notice a button that says manage permissions. If you click that, it'll bring up a message that only you can see. Now, do keep in mind the manage permissions button can only shows when an admin uses the help command, and only when and only works when an admin clicks it. Now, in this menu, we still have the first permission system in here as well. So we can go to required permissions. We can see right now it says manage messages. We can go to manage roles. We click off of it. We go back, and it sets it. So we can do .hsay, and we see that it's been updated. Now we can do the exact same thing here. So we see user permissions, role permissions, channel permissions, category permissions. We can click on text channels, which is a category here, and we can click deny, for example. And now if we look in .lp, you can no longer use the say command in the text channels category. Honestly though, I really have to thank my code dev for a lot. They have done a lot of work on the bot alongside with me. They improved the chat triggers module tremendously. They've improved a lot of stuff in the bot by itself. They added the functionality to use freaking custom buttons and custom slash commands. Isn't that awesome? Well, for any of you that didn't follow this video at all, I do have a transcript down below. I'm going to post basically the entire transcript of the video down in the description. Do join the Discord server if you have issues. Uh, we're always willing to help. Always. If I don't answer, I'm most likely asleep or just busy. It may take me a bit to actually answer, but you know. Uh, the bot is free. The bot is open source. I'll leave the link to that as well. I'll leave the link to the site. That way, it's going to be a lot easier. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye.